We are back home, as you can see. A lot of construction between here and my in-laws' house. I'm trying to drive a 32-foot RV Class A motorhome where the lanes are barely wider than the motorhome itself, and it is stressful. But you spend time as a family like that, and you start to think about how things that are easy to overlook and ignore when you're in your house, you can easily get on each other's nerves a lot more when you're in closer proximity. And it got me thinking about frustration. One of the things they say that ADHD people have issues with is emotional regulation. And I don't know if it's specifically ADHD or what, but I do know that emotional regulation has been a difficult thing for me over the many decades. I mean, for as long as I can remember. And my son definitely has some struggles with that as well. And I got to thinking about those situations where something that he does just kind of sets me off, for lack of a better way to say it. I mean, he's a great kid. I love him to death. And he so much wants to make us proud. He also wants to joke with us. I love his sense of humor. And just so many things. He's really sweet. But he has this same issue that I had. And it was worse when I was his age. To where any random, unexpected micro-hardships. I can't even rightly call them hardships. I mean, come on. Micro-hardships. I think that's probably a good word for it. But it's like anything that is unexpected. There's this instantaneous wave of emotion that is very difficult to take hold of, to capture, to not let it be the fullness of what it wants to be. And all this talk that I've been doing over the last few days about various ways that you might want to go about improving yourself and how that can be tied to the statements that you tell yourself, these identity statements, how being more aware of your own thoughts when you are in a more boredom type state is helpful and useful. I did a lot of thinking on the drive home. One of the main reasons why this is at the forefront of my mind is because of how my instantaneous negative reactions to any given external stimuli negatively impact my son. Because as something sets me off and I go into that instantaneous kind of aggressive nagging of instantaneous correction, you need to be doing it this way kind of thing, well, then that is unexpected for him, and it's unexpected to him. And so that sudden flood of a negative stimulus for him will generate those emotions in him, and he's going to have trouble regulating those. It's like I said in my video on distraction, that I want to be a positive impact to the people around me. I don't want to be that person that sets them off, that source of irritation and frustration, maybe sometimes outright anger for them. I don't want to be that person. But it's so easy to not be aware of how we can be that. Right as I was getting ready to put the RV away, going to fill it up with some gas, needed to put some fuel stabilizer in there for putting it to bed for a few months. And there was something about this bottle of fuel stabilizer. I've never seen it like this before. And my wife actually said, "Oh, is that one of those where you squeeze a measurement into the separate little spout and then you can just pour from that other spout?" And I was like, yes, that's how you were supposed to use it. That would have been useful information. I'm just used to just a straight bottle of dumping the whole thing in. And so as I'm trying to get it into my fuel tank, I have to go back inside the gas station because I couldn't find a funnel on my RV. So I had to buy a funnel, and I'm getting it in there, getting it all over my hands. As I went in to buy the funnel, the guy behind the counter asked me, "How you doing?" Now, I will be the first to tell you that usually I hate that question because it's part of this dance we do in polite society where the greeting is, "How are you doing?" And the response is, "Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?" And the response is, "Oh, I'm doing great," or "I'm doing fine," or whatever platitudes that don't mean anything at all. And so I have always been in the habit, for as long as I can remember, of not answering that question with one of those platitudes. But usually when I do answer it, it's somewhere between meh and I'm still alive. Because seems like there's always something that is frustrating. But I knew from almost the moment I got up this morning that this is what I wanted to talk about this evening. And so it had been at the forefront of my mind for several hours. And I caught myself. And what I said was, "Marvelous." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Fantastic." He's like, "All right." "Amazing," even. It's like, "Good." I forget his exact words, but he was engaging with me. And then I was like, "And I'm blessed by Jesus." And I think I got it. Amen. Preach it at that point. And what I found in the observation of that moment is that not only did I feel better on the other side of it, I could see it in him. His day was improved by my expression of positivity. You know, there was this book from like decades ago. It was like The Power of Positive Thinking. And I've said this before. I've thought all of this kind of stuff was just a bunch of nonsense. But words are powerful. I mean, if you think about this, Genesis, it says God spoke the universe into existence. And I think about that interaction that I had with that young kid, who, by the looks of him, was not much older than my son. And I like to think that when he gets to the end of his day, he gets to the end of his shift, he goes home, and he's laying there trying to go to sleep, and he's thinking through his day, that maybe his day was a little bit better because I made a choice to not respond in frustration. I want you guys to think about that. I want you to think about all the little things throughout your day, 100 different things that can set you off. And that instantaneous reaction to go to the negative, to go to the frustrated, maybe even to go to the angry. And when you feel yourself going to that place, take a few seconds, take a breath, make a choice to speak positivity into your own life and to the lives of those around you, rather than allowing just the overflow of frustration in a moment to be what comes out of your mouth. You might be surprised what comes on the other side of that.